ora, welcome to Breakfast with Bledisloe. I'm Ty Dello.
And I'm Stacey Petrie. Today on Breakfast with Bledisloe.
In today's story, a new crime wave is sweeping the country in form of woolen graffiti. Scientists have invented an invisibility cloak. We help them find it and the latest weather around the country. But first, a story that will turn your world upside down. If you think the world is getting more and more topsy-turvy, it turns out you're right. Builders in Germany have built an upside-down house, and before you think they may have read the plans upside down, they did it on purpose. The wacky abode was built to a tourist attraction, as well as being a comment on the state of the world. The house is 23 feet tall and rests on a roof that has steel beams on the attic inside the house. There are beds screwed to the ceiling, upside down wardrobes, an upside down kitchen, and even upturned bathroom, though it is not known as if anyone has tried to have a bath in it or go to the toilet. Normally a house like this would take 3 weeks to build. This one took over 4 months because workers keep getting confused by the strange angles on the walls. Many tourists visiting the house complain of feeling sick and dizzy after just a few minutes inside. We now cross over to our reporter Amy Duplessis, Ellen, who is in the house. How are you feeling, Amy?
Thanks, Tyke. I'm here with the owner of the house, Olivia von Winkle, and I'm feeling nauseous. So, what made you decide to build this upside-down house?
I just wanted to be different to everyone else. I tried a wacky haircut and odd clothing. It just wasn't enough.
What comment do you feel the house makes about the state of the world?
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. I work at a petrol station. Do I look like a rocket scientist to you?
What are some of the challenges of living in a house where the beds, bathrooms and kitchen are kind of on the ceiling?
Obviously, the challenge is not falling to your death. We have a number of unique solutions. Firstly, we developed an adhesive floor coating that allows you to walk on the ceiling. And we also have sticky sheets and toilet seats.
How do you think owning an upside-down house might affect your health?
I think I may experience dizziness, nausea, and I may often be quite sick, but it's worth it to feature on Breakfast with Bledisloe.
Thank you, Olivia. Well, that's all from me now. Back to you, Stacey, in the studio.
Thanks, Amy. Even watching it makes me feel queasy. Now let's go over to Natalie Chalmers-Ross for a look at the stock market. How much money are you making, Natalie?
I'm your Stock Markets by Natalie Chalmers-Ross. Let's have a look at what's cool and what's not in the NZ So Hot Right Now index. Looking at the currency markets, we see Bled dollars has strengthened against the greenback and yen, trading at 3.2 US dollars and 87 yen. Bled dollars have slightly weakened against the Kiwi dollar, trading at $1.32. Going up is Turfree tyres, which are trading at 32 Bled dollars per share. This is much better than yesterday, when they were worth only about 22 cents. Going down today is Papuni Pizza, which used to be really cool but isn't anymore because of the number of gross items found in the pizzas, including earwax, various finger and toenail clippings, and worst of all, torn up turbo tickets. Another thing going up is Harris Hair Design, which used to be great, then wasn't for a while, then suddenly was again because Tammy King and Joe Mills were seen in the Taradale Times with amazing Harris hair design styles. Now everybody wants one. Well, that's all from me, Natalie Chalmers-Ross. Stay stable, New Zealand. Back to the news desk with Stacey Petrie and Ty Dello.
Look out, Harry Potter. Look out, Harry Potter. Look out, Harry Potter. The world of science is catching up to the world of magic. Scientists in Europe have created a 3D invisibility cloak which can hide objects by bending light waves. It has been found that light can be controlled using special tiny crystals that makes objects disappear. So far, scientists have made small objects such as coins disappear, but I hope it won't be long before they're hiding cars, planes and even people. People have always dreamed of making themselves invisible, one top scientist says. The possibilities are endless and we are very excited. However, since inventing the invisibility cloak, the scientists have been having trouble finding it. As soon as we put it down, something just disappears. The inventor of the cloak said, it appears they are having trouble finding other things too, like their lunch, which they think may be underneath the cloak. What will this invention actually be used for? Hoping to see through the reasons behind the invisibility cloak, here is our on-the-spot reporter Jono Bradwell with more on this story.
Hello, I'm Jono Bradwell and with me is Walter Wittgenstein, one of the scientists behind the invisibility cloak. Hi Walter, and thanks for joining us today. What made you want to invent an invisibility cloak?
I was always rubbish at hide and seek. I was a laughingstock among my friends. I invented the cloak to become the king of hide and seek.
Can you show me how the invisibility cloak works?
Yes, certainly I can.
Good. So, right. Gave me a massive fright. What do you hope the cloak will be used for?
There are a plethora of uses for the cloak, but personally I find it handy to pick my nose and not be seen, and to sneak some of my wife's beautiful banoffee pie from the fridge undetected.
When you finally complete the production or an invisibility cloak, will they be cheaper than an All Blacks jersey?
Even though they are more expensive than an All Blacks jersey, our cloak will retail for $459.99. An absolute bargain. A far better deal than those overpriced luxuries.
Well, that makes things very clear. Thanks for joining us, and we're out of time. Over to you, Tigdale, in the studio.
Thanks, Jono. And now, how's this for an interesting one? A new wave of crime graffiti is covering the country, thanks to an underground gang known as the Midnight Knitters. These wall-waving criminals are covering tree branches and lampposts with small jerseys and scarves. Under the cover of darkness, police say knitted activities of the gang are illegal because their woolly crimes are being done on public property without permission. The popularity of woolen graffiti is growing more and more public. Objects with wrapped up night. Problem is growing. Police say they warn that if the Midnight Knitters aren't caught soon, every tree, lamppost and traffic light in the country will be warmly dressed against the cold. The problem is spinning out of control. They are close knit, stitching together case, but it is not seamless. There is no real pattern to the crime. A police spokesman said so far criminal knitters have escaped arrest and continue to pull the wool over the eyes of both public and the police. We now go over to our secret location with our investigative reporter Tyler Morero, who has an exclusive interview with one of the Midnight Knitters gang.
Thanks, Tiger. I'm Tyler Morero, and joining me in this top secret location is a member of the Midnight Knitters gang. Hello, Isaiah Willover, and thanks for joining us. What led you into the dark underworld of graffiti?
My parents were very environmentally minded. They told me spray paint was bad for the environment. My mother suggested tagging with wool.
Do you see yourself as a criminal? Why or why not?
I'm offended by that question. Knitting is a pure art form. I'm not a criminal, I'm an artist.
Apart from trees, lampposts and traffic lights, what else would you like to graffiti with your wings?
We've been hatching a plan for a while now to completely cover the beehive in black and yellow wool. We also have another target. All I'll say is, John K., you better watch your back.
When you display your woolen graffiti, do you feel the slightest bit of embarrassment?
Well, no, not really. I've been proud of my knitting prowess my whole life. My nana taught me how to knit when I was 6, and I've been knitting ever since.
Thanks for your time, Isaiah Oliver of the Midnight Knitters Gang. We now go over to Dylan Coffey with the update.
Thank you, Tyler, and good evening, New Zealand. Let's have a look at tomorrow's weather. Starting on the fair north in Kaitaia, look out for some pretty flash flooding and some raindrops as big as your head. If you're going outside, wear a hat. Moving down to Auckland, there'll be a mix of conditions and unfair conditions, but those are the conditions. You'll just have to accept them. There'll be no weather at all in Bay of Plenty. It's taking a short holiday except to be for the weekend. In Napier and Hastings, the weather will sometimes be changeable and sometimes not. We have really no idea what will happen there. In the Taranaki, a mild depression brings with a very dull day with no highlights at all. It'll be overcast and gloomy all morning, but things should clear up by the evening, so don't worry, everything will be fine. Wellington will have another capital day. There will be no wind at all. The day conditions will be so pleasant, they'll exactly be extreme.
In the top of the South Island, Kaikoura can expect to have a good day, meeting friends for lunch, going for a swim and reading the newspaper. But try to stay indoors as the weather will be just terrible. A real mix for Christchurch, which will have some unreasonable rainfall, some sensible winds, moderate thunderstorms and some very angry snow. And in the lower south, Dunedin will be frosty, cold and unfriendly until late morning, when the sun will pop over for a visit. Everybody likes the sun. That's all from me. Remember, if it's raining outside, that's the weather for you. Good night, New Zealand. Now it's back to the news desk with Ty Gallo and Stacey Petrie.
Thanks, Dylan. We finally got over to Georgina Van Sound for 2 minutes with Who Are You? Got there with you today, Georgina.
Thank you, Stacey. I'm Georgina Bellis, and today we're having 2 minutes with All Blacks captain Richie McCaw. Hello, Richie. Thank you for joining us. What made you want to be an All Black?
Who doesn't want to be an All Black? You get to sleep in, travel around the world, get free clothes and shoes. It's amazing.
Going into the World Cup, are there many issues in the All Blacks camp?
Well, yes, quite frankly, there are. A number of players have very poor personal hygiene. We have to remind the forwards to shower, and the backs use way too much gel and deodorant, and the Franks brothers have issues controlling their natural gases.
If things go to plan and we win the World Cup, what would you do to celebrate?
We have quite a complicated victory dance planned, and then, to be quite honest, I'll be needing a long nana nap.
Graham Henry seems like an alright bloke. What would you rate him out of 10?
Looks can be deceiving, Georgina. He's actually quite a strict sort. He reminds me of my old PE teacher at high school. He loves screaming at all the weaklings trying to climb to the top of the rope. However, he has got some good ideas, so 7 out of 10, I guess.
Well, Richie, thank you very much for joining us. This has been 2 Minutes with Georgina Bellis. Now back to the news desk with Ty Gallo and Stacey.
Thank you, Georgina. Well, that's all we have.
Yeah.
Thank you, Georgina. That's all we have time for. We hope you've enjoyed this evening's broadcast. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Until then, I'm Ty Dello.
And I'm Stacey Petrie for Breakfast with Bledisloe. Goodbye.
And enohora.